So, Hunt Showdown, everybody. We got a pretty big update coming up, I'm pretty sure. It's like Hunt Showdown 1896, they're calling it, right? Yeah. I'm calling it Hunt 2.0, and most people I think are, but rebranding very cool. I thought we moved in lore by more years, but it seems like we're in 1896, which is, Crytek, I gotta tell you, one of my favorite years because of this random event that happened in that year. I love that event. I We will see what it is when I research it after I film this video. What do we have coming up? We got a new map, Mammon's Gulch, very hyped, very cool. Mountains, I wanted this for years. Crytek, good job. I'm so proud of you. That's epic. We got a new boss that was officially announced today. Of course, it was unofficially announced 2 months ago, but some of you don't know about this. Most of you probably do. We have a new event, Scorched Earth. Very cool, very epic. It probably has a lot to do with the new boss, since he seems to be the scorched event that we will be all eventing upon. A bunch of new weapons, crossbow Deadeye. Very cool, very fun. I'm gonna be using that one a lot probably. New UI that some of you just absolutely fucking hate for some reason. I don't know why. It looks good to me, but people in this community get unreasonably angry a lot. Remember the beetle incident? I hope you do. You should remember the beetle incident. We get bullet drop, another thing that you are like 70% of you lost their minds about. That's cool. Point of the video is Hunt's history. Everybody, how did we get here? Everything, all of the stuff that happened that I can fit in a 10-minute video. And like, because it's a pretty interesting story. Most of you probably don't know, but Hunt Showdown actually started as so in 2014, because yes, that's how far Hunt's history reaches actually into the past, deep down, beyond. Hunt looked like a different game because it was a different game. Hunt Showdown, you see, was a game called Hunt Horrors of the Gilded Age, and it was not created by my good neighbors in Germany. I'm from Poland. It was not created by Germans. Back then, it was created by Americans. Yeah, over the sea, far away. And the game looked like this. And you're seeing clips of how it looked like right now. It was interesting. It was more of a 4-player co-op, a monster hunting game, like something like Left 4 Dead or Evolve. You guys remember Evolve? Yeah, like Evolve. There was 4 of you hunting down monsters. They kinda made it, and by kinda I mean they made 1 level and 1 boss, as far as I know, to show off at E3, because Crytek was in a shape that I could describe as rough, gently. Was doing not great back then, but yeah, so they had to shut down that studio. The game had some cool elements in it, some elements I liked. Of obviously the bayou aesthetic that was kept. That was very cool. Always excited to go out into the swamp and shoot mentally ill people that are there with my friends using cool weapons like this weapon or like this weapon that I'm showing right now. Like this weird, almost steampunky, high tech for that time in particular weaponry, flamethrowers before World War One, stuff like that. Like this fantasy of these hunters having these weapons that are beyond their time, basically, right? If you died, you spawned in a coffin, in a standing coffin, and then your friends could free you using methods that I would say are questionable. These are the methods. Like, as long as it works, it's fine. He's alive, so he's okay. Getting shot 55 times, but he's fine. Then my German neighbors got their hold of the game of Hunt Horrors of the Gilded Age, and well, there is somebody who describes what happens next better than I do, and that's my good friend. I don't know him, but I like watching him. He's funny. General Sam.
And the Germans were like, this will not do. This sucks ass. And then they did some crazy Joseph Mengele torture to it and turned it into this game.
after being taken to Frankfurt, Germany, for those of you who don't know where cities are, I totally didn't just have had to check if Frankfurt is in fact in Germany. Maybe I did a little bit. Hunt had to change, you see, and it had to change fast because the team in Germany was proficient in making first-person. They were proficient in making first-person shooters, like Crysis and Crysis 2 and Crysis 3. They were great at making Crysis games. Yeah, and so it got taken over by our boy Dennis, and it became what we know today. Glorious moment. My favorite fucking game. That's how it happened. Hunt Showdown. I love it so much. Early access, where only two things can happen. Either you have absolutely no intention of releasing the game and you only want to squeeze out of gamers their hard-earned / stolen from mom's purse cash, or something truly special is about to happen. Thankfully, Hunt was later revealed to be a part of the second category. However, it was not always so certain, as the game launched with a swath of issues, technical performance issues, server issues, crashes, problems of this nature, but it did launch with a fairly healthy 10,627 players on the day of its release, and of course, I was among them, with my beautiful GTX 960, maybe, perhaps, running out there in like 20-25 FPS, maybe, when it was doing okay, to kill some city slickers. Obviously, the city slickers mostly got to me and killed me, since, 25 FPS, and also I was scared shitless because the game was scary to me back then. And then, in 2019, a miracle happened. A miracle which we've all been waiting for. Hunt Showdown got pushed out of the early access following the additions of its second map, Lost on Delta, and a brand spanking new boss, the Assassin. The game was out, and we all could play it in the 1.0 version of it. The patch was absolutely massive, adding everything from new weapons, new gadgets, gizmos. I think there was the UI 2.0 launched with it, a UI 3.0 coming soon. And of course, they added the most horrific, gruesome addition of all, the most fearsome one of all. And that is the thing that still gives me nightmares to this day. Please get rid of it. I'm talking, of course, about this particular hunter skin. Why is it in the game? What is this? What happened here? I don't know. We don't know. But no, seriously, they added microtransactions. They fucking added microtransactions. You may be poison. And now, this is what I would consider a fairly controversial time in Hunt Showdown's history. Looking at it from today's perspective, it's added many highly needed things to Hunt Showdown, even though they might seem small, and they were not the things that I wanted at the time. They were still very important and fundamental in many ways to the game. Of course, the first one being the monetization system that could support the game through DLCs and legendary weapons with blood bands. Yes, Instagram comments. Monetization is needed if you want to keep playing the game. Crazy idea. Another thing was the custom ammo addition, which was, at the time, I was not feeling it, but it's great. I love it now. I gave Crytek some shit because, like everybody back then, I wanted new maps, new bosses, the big things. We'll get back to that later. Also, many gun changes, like addition of the levering, which remade the whole tree of weapons, that is, the lever action rifles. and the dual wielding system, which everybody wanted for years. Then it came out, people were kind of mixed on it, but now it seems like such an integral part of the game that it's strange to think that it wasn't there at one point. The community, however, as I mentioned before, craved content, the big things, the maps, the bosses, the weapons, the things that could be shown off in flashy trailers that could provide them with another 100 hours of content. But was Crytek able to satiate this hunger of the community, and me, of course, as a part of this community? Well, it's complicated. From the community's perspective, Crytek was focusing on monetization and DLCs over the content additions. From the developers' perspective, they wanted quality over quantity, and in order to provide quality, they needed a budget, so hence the frequent DLCs and microtransactions. So, how do we keep people playing? Give them something to do so they don't constantly complain, and also make some money in the process. Well, of course. Event's early iterations seemed innocent. Everything was unlockable for free if you were willing to put in the grind. The only catch, if you could even call it that, were the little boosts that you could buy with blood bonds that would increase your event point yield. At the time, they were syringes that you could pay for. They were going into your consumable slot. With each event, however, this innocent, fun thing seemed to grow. Events have become more grindy, the boosts more expensive and varied in their classifications. The game was clearly encouraging you to spend your hard-earned blood bonds on the mentioned boosts, and the community was torn when it came to the direction. We finally had something to do. The events were frequent. They were fun. It was fun to team up with your friends, being like, oh, we have something new to grind for now, everybody hop on, let's play. But something about it all felt a little insidious with how the monetization was progressing, and the devil was in the details. And some of us noticed these details, whilst others preferred to remain in the dark, oblivious to the machinations happening behind the scenes.
We will have two different progressions. One is free, another one is Gilded Path. For example, you are at level 10 in the progression. You can just purchase the Gilded Path access.
You see now, at last, Hunt Showdown entered its new age. It was introduced to a battle pass as its newest system of monetization. No longer were you able to unlock everything by simply grinding and occasionally paying for time savers, Ubisoft trademarked. No, from now on, you had to pay in order to unlock everything. You see, this entire update to Hunt Showdown, it was all an experiment orchestrated by a man who has not yet revealed himself to the community, a man who was puppeteering and pulling the strings behind the scenes without any of us mere hunters knowing, and this man, of course, being...
Raise your glass, your voice in praise.
The man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, David Fifield. Now, I will not pretend like I know anything about Hunt Showdown's development, or development kind of overall, even though I dabble in some modding. But I'll tell you what, ever since this absolute unit of a man joined the Hunt team, I've started getting everything I wanted from this game, everything I was asking for years. The guns, wacky guns like Romero Alamo, Sparks Pistol, Martini Henry Ironside, different types of weather conditions, frequent and big seasonal updates and content. Like, the game actually has a roadmap now that you can understand and that you can follow with its additions. You know when things are fucking coming out finally. We got rain Like, for somebody who was playing this game since the beta, the fact that we didn't have rain in the Louisiana Bayou, like, that was insane. It was crazy. And now we finally got it, and we got it better than I could have ever expected it to be. With the Thunder Shower. Thunder Shower is great. I know some of you don't like it because it's a low visibility weather, and I can't take my mouse and sniper because sometimes it rains too hard. Stop. It's fun. Just play with a different loadout. I agree, we should be able to pick what weather condition we're entering into, but God, like, stop it. Play the game. The wildcard conditions are so fun. Ashbloom is awesome. I know you, many of you don't like Ashbloom because Ashbloom makes you think about it changes how the sound in the game works, so you can't rely on it as much. But it affects everybody the same way, so like the playing field is still even. Oh my, okay, I'm sorry, I got into a rant, guys, and gals, of course. Back to David Fifield. We of course also got, well, you know who we got. After years of pleading, after trials and tribulations, after begging and boycotting, we finally got the fucking Gator, and I like the Gator. The Gator is cool. It has some issues, like I think that the wild targets, bosses, they need to be tweaked. I'm hoping that with the new Hellborn, they will be tweaked, and the area around them maybe will be, you know, they're the most risky to get, and they give you the least money, so maybe do something around this problem, Crytek. Yes, but as you can see, energy is up. I'm excited. David Fifield, thank you. These additions are great, and I think this is ever since this shift happened, Hunt has entered a bit of a golden age, and this golden age will continue now, of course. And with all of these frequent additions to Hunt Showdown, of course, for some, the problem kind of went the other way around, because now the seasons were too frequent for some people. And this is actually a criticism that, while I do not agree with it myself, I can understand it, and I can empathize with people who are having this issue with the game, because yeah, we mostly have seasons now. Seasons are more frequent than the times without seasons, and some people just want the classical Hunt experience without all of the grind, unburdened by seasonal perks and seasonal mechanics like that. So yeah, I hear that. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I don't know why I'm saying I hear that. But yeah, I want you all to know in the Hunt community that I get this problem. I do not agree with necessarily. I think there is a middle ground to be found there, so that everybody is satisfied when it comes to this. I don't think this is an issue that has to only support one side of the argument. But even with this criticism, I think that we can mostly maybe all agree that these events are pushing Hunt with each one of them forward. They are giving the developers the breathing room to experiment with the game, to add things that maybe are not good permanently, but will be fun for a season, and seeing like what things work, what things don't. Thanks to that, we got a lot of additions through the event perks that became permanent perks, and now we have perks that drop only from from meatheads and stuff like that, the burn traits and the scarce traits. All of this temporary nature of the events is allowing the developers to do wacky cool stuff, and this is preventing the game from getting stale. And I think that Hunt is so great on some level because while it keeps going, it is changing and experimenting with things, and this is why I have 2.5 thousand hours in this game. And I will probably get double that after 1896 comes out. I love it. And Hunt is growing in the numbers. The game is becoming greater, bigger, and mightier every year. And that's awesome. And now, less than a week from now, as of recording this video, Hunt is about to enter its new age, with a mind-boggling amount of changes and improvements, from technical and graphical through UI. The new map, of course, Mammon's Gulch, it's so beautiful. The new boss, the Hellborn, looking awesome, hurling fucking flame balls at us. RIP my health bars, and I guess just at the end I wanted to say a bit of a thank you to everybody at Crytek, to Dennis, David, Fallout Raider guy, James, and everyone else at the studio. You guys are doing a bang-up job. Like, I love this game. I know, like any product ever, and especially any game ever, it's gonna have problems, but the voices of the community seem to be heard in the development team, and I think that's very important, and the game is progressing really well. I'm loving everything that you guys announced, and I guess...
Breathe deep, take your fill. Welcome to Mammon's Gulch. Welcome to 1896.